At the beginning of the drama, a truck is shown, which throws a pile of gold bricks into a pit. Then those gold bars are covered with cement, while a man hidden in the dark is watching all this. After this, a montage of theft, stabbing, and police comes, along with which news reports are heard. We find out about Big Mouse, who is a criminal and has a hand in every part of organized crime. But his identity is still a mystery. A voiceover tells about the fictional city Guchon, how from the outside it all looks perfect, but from the inside this world is rotten with crime. Here people think that this world is very beautiful, but these are only those people who have never felt the lack of money. Therefore, my only goal is just this, to be successful and spend my life happily with my family. Along with a speech, our male lead, Chang-ho, is shown, who is looking at the lights outside the window. Just then, the door opens, and inside, Chang-ho's wife and the story's main lead, Mi-ho, and her father are shown. This room is actually a part of a luxury restaurant, where the three are celebrating the couple's anniversary. Mi-ho tells Chang-ho, "I told you that I want to eat pork belly, but what was the need to spend so much for this?" To which Chang-ho says, "Today is our anniversary. Eating pork belly at home, even on this day, that would be worse, right, father-in-law?" Then her father says, "Absolutely. And anyway, he is a lawyer. He can afford it." Just then Mi-ho says, "A loan of 259 million, 7.8 million interest per month. Do you even know our loan is increasing every minute, Mr. Lawyer?" Chang-ho smiles and feeds Mi-ho a bite with his hand and says, "Just a little more time, then you all will see my face on TV." Just then, Chang-ho gets a phone call from which it is known he is the defense counsel for the Gucheon Hospital murder case. Hearing about this hospital case, Mi-ho and her father also become concerned, and Mi-ho's father says, "In this hospital case, there are names of very big people. But Chang-ho, changing the topic, says, "I have already paid the bill, the tip too, so do not go anywhere without eating dessert." Mi-ho tells him, "Come home early, so that we can celebrate our anniversary." Chang-ho also answers, "Yes," and leaves from there. While leaving the hotel, a server gives him a drink, which Chang-ho is drinking while driving the car, but soon he loses control and he gets into an accident. After which, we shift to a flashback from 7 days ago and see Chang-ho's normal family life, where Chang-ho and Mi-ho are sleeping. Just then, a police siren alarm rings, upon which Mi-ho, with closed eyes, says, "I told you to change this alarm. It is very annoying." But Chang-ho does not wake up. Just then, Mi-ho pushes him off the bed and turns off the alarm, after which Chang-ho goes into the bathroom and starts applying Mi-ho's expensive eye cream on his face. Just then, Mi-ho comes there and, seeing her eye cream in Chang-ho's hand, grabs him by the collar and says, "Do you even know how expensive this is? This is eye cream. How can you use it so much? I apply very little myself." Chang-ho says, "I also applied only a little bit." But Mi-ho does not pay attention to him. In the next scene, Chang-ho was tying his tie and Mi-ho was doing her hair, but Chang-ho could not tie his tie, upon which Mi-ho gets up to tie his tie. While tying the tie, she says, "What time is the trial?" To which Chang-ho answers, "At 10 o'clock. Then Mi-ho says, "Quietly bring all the money. I do not want any problem." Chang-ho, assuring her, says, "You think too much. Search anywhere, you will not find a lawyer like this who knows about this case better than me." Just then, Mi-ho says, "A lawyer should not have this much confidence when he himself gets scammed by someone. And if you fail in the trial, then do not even think of coming into my house." After which, in the office, it is revealed, Mi-ho had saved a lot of money, but Chang-ho invested them in a cryptocurrency deal, which turned out to be a scam. And now, he is trying to fight the case, so that he can give Mi-ho's money from that money. He even borrowed money from a loan shark to bribe the judge, but a new judge and new lawyers come into the courtroom, and he loses that case in front of them. And the angry crowd brings him out of the courtroom while scolding him. Just then, his father-in-law defends him and says he is also a victim here. Chang-ho also tries to calm the crowd. Just then, a man from the crowd says, "We have heard your nickname is Big Mouth. You run your mouth a lot without any information." The crowd attacks him again, taking his father-in-law away from him too. After a while, both are sitting on the stairs outside the court. Just then, Chang-ho says to his father-in-law, "You knew, right, that people call me Big Mouth?" To which his father-in-law says to him, "These people just run their mouths like this. Do not pay attention to their words." Then Chang-ho says, "Maybe I should just quit the lawyer's job." Hearing which, his father-in-law says, "I will not stop you, but first, return my money that you took." Upon which both start laughing. Just then, Chang-ho's phone rings. The phone was from Mi-ho, seeing which he quickly gives his phone to his father-in-law, saying, "You pick it up, I am feeling scared." His father-in-law also says in panic, "I am also scared of her." Chang-ho says fearfully, "What are you doing? She is your daughter, you talk to her." To which his father-in-law says, she took exactly after her mother. And picking up the phone, he gives it to Chang-ho. Miho first asks, what happened to the case? And when she finds out Chang-ho lost the case, she shouts on the phone itself. This means we will not get even a single penny of ours. She is with her colleague at this time, because of which she steps aside and then shouts, that is why I said that we should hire a separate lawyer. Where will we pay this month's interest from? Water is leaking downstairs. How will we get it fixed? Chang-ho, explaining to her, says, I am thinking I should shift to being a divorce lawyer. I have heard there's a lot of money there. To which Miho says, good idea. Keep the papers ready for me too. I will pay you good money. Hearing this, Chang-ho says, Miho, do not joke like this. It hurts me. Miho says angrily, do you know how much I am hurting because of you? You bring the divorce papers today itself. I cannot stay with you for even a moment now. Chang-ho also says angrily, fine, we will get a divorce. Hearing this, his father-in-law starts to panic. Chang-ho further says, but even after the divorce, I will stay with father-in-law only. I can break up with you, but not with father-in-law. Anyway, he is more dependent on me than you. Right, father-in-law? From behind, his father-in-law says, do not bring me into your fight. Just then, Miho shouts, do you think I will back down if you use my father? Just then, from behind, her colleague calls out, Miho! While leaving, Miho says to Chang-ho on the phone, I will meet you at home. Do not forget to bring the papers. And hangs up the phone. At night, Miho calls Chang-ho, but he does not pick up the phone. Just then, Miho's father comes out of the room, hiding a bag. Miho stops him and says, what is in the bag? Her father says, I am going to throw away some of my ruined clothes, and starts to leave. Just then, Miho says to him, me or Chang-ho? Who will you stay with after our divorce? Hearing this, her father answers, why are you even thinking about divorce? You are mature, you can handle yourself, but Chang-ho cannot live without me. To which Miho says, am I not your daughter? Did you pick me up from a trash can? Her father says, I do not know, and runs away quickly. Downstairs, outside their building, Chang-ho was waiting for him. He takes the bag and gives it to Chang-ho. Chang-ho tells him, until Miho's anger cools down, I will stay in the office only. Just then, he gets a phone call from the mayor of Gucheon. Just then, from behind, Miho's father comes and says, what are you saying? How is this your house? This is still my house. To which Miho says, what were you doing when this scam happened? You are the office manager. Her father says softly, let us go. We are getting late. He goes to a cabin near a deserted lake where the mayor is fishing. Mayor Doha says, there is a Gucheon University Hospital murder case in which 3 people were caught in an accident and a doctor's body was found in the trunk of the car. These 3 are very powerful people, a surgeon, a lawyer, and the son of the University Foundation's chairman. They are also connected to the NR Forum. While talking, Chang-ho understands the trial is already set, and they just need a quiet lawyer who appears in the front. The mayor tells him, I want you to be their man in appearance. He gives Chang-ho the idea to fight like an honest lawyer and convinces him, become a double agent. Chang-ho is told, you just have to find the missing dashcam footage of the car from that night. Chang-ho is also given a lot of money in exchange for this work. Chang-ho takes advice from a lawyer friend of his and goes to the jail where the 3 accused are kept. Chaebong, Jae-ho, and Do-gun are living in luxury even while being in jail. Chang-ho says, I am your lawyer. They had already found out about Chang-ho's entire life, and his lawyer skills too, seeing which they were thinking, how has he survived till today with such skills? Then they start talking to Chang-ho. Just then, a phone call comes, which Chang-ho's friend had planned, saying, someone has found the dashcam footage. The 3 panic. Chang-ho steps out, but leaves a bug in the room. He hears them say, the footage is with the doctor's wife. One of them suggests, let's destroy that video. But the other stops him and says, are you crazy? That video with us is her insurance. If she changes her mind, then we will be the ones trapped. As soon as he leaves the jail, Chang-ho calls the mayor and says, the dashcam footage is with the doctor's wife, who is currently shooting some cooking show. After which the mayor says, I will go to the doctor's wife. There, the doctor's wife finishes her shoot and goes into her makeup room. From behind, the mayor comes there. He asks a staff member, where is the doctor's wife? Just then, the sound of the doctor's wife screaming comes from the makeup room. When everyone reaches there, the room is locked from the inside. Just then, Chang-ho also reaches there and breaks the door. In the room, the doctor's wife was lying unconscious. Chang-ho immediately goes towards the window, from where he sees a man in black clothes running away. Chang-ho asks the doctor's wife, where is the dashcam footage? At first, she says, no, but when threatened with jail, she gives the footage. Chang-ho also asks her, who is that 4th person? And she says, the 4th man is Ji-hoon, who is the president of Gukdong Daily. She gives the footage to Chang-ho and asks one more time, You will not forget your promise, right? You will not report this, right? To which Chang Ho answers, you do not worry, I will not report. And even if I do, you will not be harmed, therefore you... Just then she, interrupting Chang Ho, says, take a piece of advice from me too. Be careful, because this case can ruin you. Later, Chang Ho checks the footage. In the footage, it is seen the three accused are attacking the doctor in the car itself so that he takes back a paper. When he refuses, the attack increases, and he dies. Then they call someone who says, I will handle the body. Seeing this, Chang Ho falls into thought. What exactly was in those papers? And should I give the footage to the mayor or go to Ji-hoon? There, at the dinner table, Miho was checking her phone. Just then, her father said, are you waiting for Chang Ho's message by any chance? To which she answers, how much time has passed he has not messaged yet? Is he seriously thinking about ending everything by any chance? Her father says, Chang Ho has been eating cup noodles for so many days. Hearing which, Miho says, he is already so thin, father. What are you doing? You are his father-in-law. You should pay attention to whether he is eating well or not. Just then the bell rings. Miho thinks, Chang Ho has come back. She happily opens the door, but some people were standing in front. They ask, where is Chang Ho? And they say, we are seizing all the personal property. And they start moving all the stuff around. Just then, Miho's father calls Chang Ho and says, because of the loan you took, people have come to the house and they are trying to take all the stuff away. Just then, Miho hears all this from behind and, snatching the phone, says, you took a loan from a shark? Do you want to ruin our family? But Chang Ho had hung up the phone. He returns home bringing chicken and money. His father-in-law sees him and says, what are you doing here at this time? You should run. Miho is very angry. To which Chang Ho very calmly says, did Miho go to sleep? Miho, baby. Miho comes out of the room with tears in her eyes. Seeing this, Chang Ho says, oh, my baby was crying. Don't worry, baby. I will fix everything. Miho, seeing Chang Ho so calm, starts throwing a flower pot at him in anger. Just then her father, stopping her, said, child, you will have to face 5 years in jail and pay 7 million. Right, Chang Ho? Chang Ho answers, yes, and tells Miho, I have brought chicken. Upon which Miho angrily hits his hands. Just then, the money from the other bag also falls down. Seeing which she asks, where did this money come from? To which Chang Ho answers, I got a big case. Hearing this, Miho says, out of so many people, why would they give you this case? Chang Ho says with confidence, Miho, even though I do not have connections, do not doubt my skills. Right, father-in-law? Miho's father, supporting Chang Ho, said, absolutely. He just does not get many cases to practice, but his skills are amazing. Miho also becomes happy seeing so much money. At night, when Miho is doing her skincare, Chang Ho says, we should have a baby. I feel like hearing father. To which Miho says, a baby will not grow up on its own. We are not able to take care of ourselves, so who will take care of a baby? Chang Ho says, I will earn a lot of money in one go. Just then Miho says, when you earn the money, then we will talk. Okay? You are really a big mouth. The next morning, Chang Ho goes to Ji-hoon's vacation house and tries to blackmail him. But Ji-hoon stays completely calm and finally calls him, you are a fool, and drives him away. Later, Chang Ho picks up the mayor's call and says, I will give the footage directly to the prosecutor. The flashback ends and we come back to that same dinner scene. Chang Ho gets the prosecutor's call and he sets out to meet him. On the way, he takes a drink from the server and then the accident happens. After the accident, he wakes up suddenly. His voiceover says, when I woke up, I had become a completely different person. After Chang Ho's accident, while being taken to the hospital, he regains consciousness slightly, and when his eyes close, he gets a flashback, which is of a sports event, where Miho is in the marching band and Chang Ho is getting ready for the pole vault. But unfortunately, the pole breaks and Chang Ho falls, and lying on the mattress, he is cursing his broken luck. Just then, Miho comes there in front of him, but instead of helping Chang Ho, Miho says, let's get a divorce. Hearing this, Chang Ho's eyes open and he finds himself in the hospital. As soon as Chang Ho regains consciousness, he says, give me my phone, because he was going to meet the prosecutor. During this, someone steals the flash drive and phone from his car, and the car is crushed. Chang Ho cannot even stabilize properly when the police come and say, we arrest you for drug use. It is found out drugs have been found in his blood test. When he is being taken away, Miho tries to stop them. Finally, she goes near Chang Ho's car and says, keep trust in us. We will do something or the other and get you released. Okay. After which the police take Chang Ho to the jail and lock him up. In the police station, Chang Ho understands, my drink was spiked. He demands, I want to meet the mayor. And when he meets the mayor, he tells him everything. Ji-hoon has done all this. I will come out of jail and tell you everything. But the mayor says, you should take help from Ji-hoon only. I cannot help you. Saying this, the mayor leaves from there. Meanwhile, the Regional Investigation Unit raids Chang Ho and Soon Tai's law office. They find gold bars, a gun, and a lot of cash hidden in the walls and ceiling. It seems like they already knew where to look. Chang Ho is sent to Gucheon Penitentiary, a place he describes as the den of the worst criminals. There he is brought in front of the 3 suspects of the Gucheon hospital murder, and their men start beating Chang Ho. On the other hand, it is shown in a news report, Big Mouse has been caught, and his identity is revealed. He is Chang Ho. In the prison, Chang Ho is hung in a hanging-like situation. Crying, he says, "I'm sorry, please let me go." But those people remove his chair. At the same time, Ji-hoon's call comes, who says, "Keep him alive because he is Big Mouse, and he stole my 100 billion won." After this, doctors come and revive him. Just then, the policemen leave Chang Ho in a cell. They corner him and put a sheet over him. Just then, Miho is seen on the news. Hearing Miho's voice, Chang Ho looks towards the TV, where Miho says, "My husband is not Big Mouse, he is being framed. I have to say something to my husband." After this, Miho crying says, "Baby, we will fight until we prove your innocence." Chang Ho watches this on TV in his cell and starts crying bitterly. In the next scene, an inmate, Jerry, tells him, "You are Big Mouse, right? I am a very big fan of yours." But Chang Ho says, "I am not Big Mouse." There, Miho, her father, and Soon-tae together make a plan. How do we prove Chang Ho innocent? After this, Miho says, "We should find the dead doctor's research paper." Saying this, she leaves from there. In the prison, Chang Ho is constantly troubled. When he is eating food, an inmate comes and troubles him, and a fight starts. In the next scene, Chang Ho is left in solitary. Chang Ho is left completely alone and starts crying. Just then, water is dripping from the ceiling. Then it is shown in a flashback when there was leakage at his house too. Everyone was trying to stop the water with a tub and bucket. Seeing all this, Miho completely gets into anger and reaches the floor above from where the leakage was happening. Inside, there were 3 boys. As soon as the door opens, Miho immediately barges inside the house and says, "How many times will I have to tell you to get the leak fixed?" So the boy says, "This house belongs to my father, so go and talk to him." But Miho does not listen to him and goes inside their house and sits down. Just then, a second boy, seeing Miho, comes to her and says, "We have met before too, do you remember? You were singing loudly on the roof." Just then, Chang Ho says, "Excuse me, her husband is standing here, what are you doing?" Upon which that boy says to Chang Ho, "You are her husband?" Then he says to Miho, "You are a bit too good for him." Miho, taking Chang Ho's side, says, "My husband is a lawyer, and do you want to go to jail?" Then they start driving Miho out of the house, but just then, Miho slaps one of them. That boy also goes to raise his hand on Miho, but Chang Ho hits him. Then there is a bit of an argument there, but finally, Miho manages to take the repair money from them. The next morning, Miho goes to give an interview for a nurse's job in the hospital. This was the same hospital where the hospital murder happened. On the other hand, Soon-tae goes to meet Chang Ho, so Chang Ho says to him, "Get my and Miho's divorce papers ready because I can even get the death penalty. I do not want everyone to trouble Miho for my loan." In the next scene, Chang Ho is thinking about suicide. Just then the cell leader who saw the future says to him, "Do not even think about giving up your life by jumping from here, because if you accidentally survive, you will have to live as a cripple for life. And anyway, your fate says that you are going to live a very long life." Chang Ho says, "What is the use of living such a life? It would be better if I just died." Just then Chang Ho says to himself, "I cannot kill myself, but someone else can kill me, right?" After this, he goes to that inmate with whom he had a fight on the first day. Chang Ho intentionally tries to fight with him so that he gets angry and kills him, but while fighting, that inmate gets injured by Chang Ho's hands. Chang Ho's idea fails. Just then he hears, "There is another inmate in the jail who is a psycho. He has killed 9 married women." After this, Chang Ho goes to that psycho inmate too, and, speaking ill of his mother, says, "Kill me too. You have already got the death penalty. What are you afraid of?" Then he also slaps him many times. Just then, the psycho remembers his mom and starts crying. Seeing this, Chang Ho says to him, "I'm sorry." Chang Ho survives again, but from his behavior, everyone starts feeling he is Big Mouse himself. The next time during food, Jerry says, an inmate was trying to escape from the jail, therefore the police shot him. Chang Ho tries this once too. At night, he pretends to escape and, standing in the ground, tells the police, "Shoot me." But this idea also does not work, because the warden immediately understands this is Chang Ho. He gives an order to the guards, "Catch him alive." Just then, he remembers Ji-hoon's words, "Do not let anything happen to him. He must be kept alive at all costs." Remembering this, the warden immediately stops everyone from firing. On the other hand, Miho's new start happens at Gucheon University Hospital. She is introduced to her new colleagues, but as a hazing ritual, she is sent to give medicines to patients all alone. She handles everything, but soon reaches a patient who seems to be dying. Without delaying, she starts giving CPR and saves the patient. But this itself becomes a problem for her, because all the patients on the 7th floor have a do not resuscitate DNR order. Later, she hears a patient's relative who is being pressured, sign the DNR forcefully, otherwise the patient will not get the surgery. At home, Miho, her father, and Suntae discuss this. Maybe Professor Seo's research paper has a connection with this. Suntae seems a bit troubled and lost. Miho asks him, "What is the matter?" Then he hands her the divorce papers. He says, "I tried a lot to explain to Chang-ho, but he did not listen. Anyway, we are about to lose the trial. And after that, your life will become even more difficult." On hearing this, Miho's father says sadly, "Ah, my child, he can really do anything for his wife, poor guy." Miho understands and she asks, "Is this the reason he refused to meet me?" Suntae answers, "What Chang-ho is doing is not wrong either. People will judge you all the time for being Big Mouse's wife. At least one of you two can live a normal life." Hearing this, Miho stands up in anger, tears up all the divorce papers and says, "You get him out of the lawyer visit tomorrow. I will murder him with my own hands. How much I supported him to become a lawyer." But Suntae tells her, Chang-ho is currently in solitary confinement and no one can meet him. There in the prison, the warden counts bundles of cash and checks names and numbers in a notebook. Then he calls an assembly for Ward 2 and announces, "I am the god in this jail." He starts dividing the inmates into different grades. Jerry explains to Chang-ho, Grade A are those who are in the warden's favor, or give him money every month. They get special privileges. Everyone else is below them. Chang-ho tries to stand against this system, but the warden gets him removed and he is put in Grade C at the very bottom, where inmates have to work in the sewers. During this, the 3 suspects of the hospital murder case send an inmate, kill Chang-ho. He attacks him with a knife in the courtyard, but Chang-ho escapes, and once again, the warden saves him. Now Chang-ho understands. These 3 suspects are not trying to prove me Big Mouse, but they want to finish me. In his office, the warden says to Chang-ho, "I have saved your life many times. Now it is time that you compensate me." He demands 5% of Lala Capital's 100 billion won. Then he tells the truth. You are alive only because Ji-hoon thinks that you are Big Mouse. If he found out the truth, then your family will be finished. Hearing about the danger to Miho, Chang-ho's anger erupts. He assumes himself to be Big Mouse and threatens the warden. "I will show you what being Big Mouse means." There, the prosecutor interrogates Miho. He asks, "Since when do you know Chang-ho?" Miho answers, "We were in the same class in high school." The prosecutor then asks, "So when did you start dating?" Miho says, "We were friends for 9 years, dated for 4 years, and have been married for 3 years. Total 16 years. The prosecutor gets a little personal and asks, "Whose first move was it? Or did you feel butterflies?" Miho immediately snaps back and says, "Do you not want to know about our first kiss? Or will you ask when we slept together for the first time?" The prosecutor becomes awkward and says, "I'm sorry. So tell me clearly, when did you find out that Chang-ho himself is Big Mouse?" Miho firmly answers, "I will help in catching Big Mouse, but Chang-ho is not Big Mouse." The prosecutor asks, "How are you so sure?" Miho says, "Because he is my husband, and I know him the best." Outside, the mayor was listening to all this. Later, Miho sits at the bus stop and remembers the moment Chang-ho had proposed to me. Remembering that moment, her eyes fill up. There in the prison, Chang-ho starts a revolt done and gets better food for the inmates, due to which his image becomes even stronger. After some time, he announces, "I will fulfill the inmates' wishes." A man pleads, "Find my lost daughter." A psychopath says, "I want a transplant for my mother suffering from leukemia." There in the hospital, Miho continues her investigation. She is told, "Resign," but she refuses. A patient's relative gives her a warning, "Your husband is in danger." In the prison, the suspects plan another attack. This time, the warden is also involved, but secretly he is double-crossing them. During the attack, the psychopath steps forward to strike Chang-ho, but the room leader comes in front of him and takes the blow himself. Chang-ho looks at the psychopath in anger. There is no fear in his eyes anymore, only fire. Seeing this, the warden immediately gives an order to the guards, "Intervene!" and gets the fight stopped. Later in the prison's hospital wing, the warden asks the room leader, "Why did you support Park Chang-ho?" The room leader, without saying anything openly, whispers something in his ear, causing the warden's expression to change slightly. All the people involved in the fight are put in solitary confinement as punishment. After some time, the cell doors are opened, and Chang-ho, Jerry, and a third inmate are allowed to come out, while the attacker and his 2 companions remain locked inside. In the VIP room, the 3 men and the warden start arguing with each other over whose fault is it that the plan failed. The warden warns them, if this matter is investigated, everyone can be trapped. They emphasize the fact, Ji-hoon should not know anything about this, and they tell the warden, finish Chang-ho's job soon. On the other hand, at Gucheon University Hospital, Mi-ho gets scolded for giving the wrong dose of medicine. But looking carefully, she realizes, I was intentionally given wrong information. Someone is trying to throw me out of the hospital. But Mi-ho had already made a smart move. She had saved a copy of the list on her phone. When she shows that copy to the doctor, it is proved the mistake was not hers. Just then, an announcement is made. Everyone is being called to the conference room. During the conference, Mi-ho suddenly says in front of everyone, I have Professor Seo's unpublished paper. Hearing this, Ju-hee is visibly shocked. While leaving the hospital, Mi-ho tells her father everything. Her father says nervously, have you gone mad? Why did you lie about those papers? Because of those very papers, a doctor lost his life? Chang-ho is in jail? Now, if something happens to you, then what? Mi-ho answers in a calm but firm voice. What else would I do? I had no other way. I have thrown the bait. Now someone or the other will definitely get trapped. Saying this, she moves forward, but just then someone starts following her. Mi-ho gets suspicious. She turns back to look repeatedly. Before anything happens, she meets her father. At the same time, Mayor Choi's call comes to her. He says, I want to talk about the paper. The two decide to meet. Meanwhile, in the prison hospital, Chang-ho meets the room leader. The room leader asks directly, are you really Big Mouse? Chang-ho says, a bit shocked, why are you asking this suddenly? The room leader says softly, when I was attacked with a knife, a thought came to my mind. If you are not Big Mouse and will not find my daughter, then my taking this knife will be in vain. Chang-ho remains silent for a few seconds. Then, after a slight hesitation, nods and says, yes. There in solitary, that inmate who attacked Chang-ho is found dead in his cell. He had hung himself. After this incident, the warden interrogates Chang-ho and says, is this not very convenient? The one who wanted to kill you, he died himself? The mayor and Mi-ho meet. Mi-ho tells him, I am trying to find Professor Seo's paper and I need your help. The mayor asks in a cold tone, why should I help you? Mi-ho answers without stopping, because you are the one who dragged my husband into all this. The mayor, smiling a little, says, Chang-ho is a con artist, and such people betray their close ones first. But Mi-ho does not back down. She tells about the hospital's DNR orders and hints. Your wife might know more about this. Hearing this, the mayor says in a stern voice, are you suspecting my wife? She knows nothing about this. Mi-ho immediately asks, how can you say with so much certainty? Hearing this question, the mayor remembers the very moment when Mi-ho was asked the same thing. He also gives the same answer, she is my wife. I know her the best. And saying this, he leaves from there. After the mysterious death of the inmate, the rest of the prisoners start fearing and respecting Chang-ho even more. After some time, Ji-hoon comes to meet Chang-ho in the prison. He says directly, I want Lala Capital's 100 billion won back. Chang-ho calmly answers, if I returned the money, you will have no reason left to keep me alive. Ji-hoon, expressing doubt on his identity, says, okay, tell me 5 names. To which people has Big Mouse sold drugs? Chang-ho actually knows nothing, but he says with confidence, I sell drugs to my customers, not my customers. Ji-hoon bursts out laughing and says, I give you 1 week. Tell me the 5 names. Otherwise, I will assume that you are not Big Mouse, and then your death is certain. After Ji-hoon leaves, Chang-ho knocks out a guard and, taking his phone, calls the mayor. He asks for help, but before giving a clear answer, the mayor hangs up the call. The mayor tells his people, keep an eye on the prosecutor and Ji-hoon, the same prosecutor who had given him the list of names earlier. There, the 2 remaining inmates in solitary are living in the shadow of fear. The warden gives an order. Send them to the general ward. In the cafeteria, the 2 start eating, but suddenly they fall down. Their condition worsens and both of them die. Chang-ho understands, if I did not do this, then the real Big Mouse is nearby. In the CCTV, it is revealed both of them had taken poison themselves. The guards search Chang-ho's cell, but nothing is found. The warden tells everyone, go inside, but no one moves. Then Chang-ho just takes one look and all the prisoners quietly return to their cells. The warden warns him, 4 days are left. If you are not proven to be Big Mouse, then your death is certain. On the other hand, Ji-hoon reaches a luxurious house to meet the elder. Ju-hee is also there. The elder refuses to meet until the money comes back, no, and he sends Ji-hoon to support the mayor at a political dinner. At the dinner, Ji-hoon publicly praises the mayor, but in the restroom, an argument happens between the 2. Ji-hoon says, I am the one who got you to this position, while the mayor accuses him, you are using me. While leaving, Ji-hoon hints, I have something that can ruin your life. There, Mi-ho now becomes absolutely certain. Someone is following me. She, her father, and Suntae together catch that man, who turns out to be the mayor's secretary. The mayor comes and explains, I did all this for Miho's safety. He gives her a paper in which some names are written and says, give this to Chang-ho. Miho asks, what is in this? But the mayor says, ask your husband. Miho goes to the prison and gives that paper to Chang-ho. Chang-ho calls the mayor and asks, why did you help me? The mayor answers, if you were really Big Mouse, why would you ask for the names of your own customers? Miho, a bit unsure, asks, can the mayor be trusted? Chang-ho confidently says, if we have any trouble, the mayor will help us. On the other hand, Ji-hoon and the prosecutor, while drinking, reveal the list given to the mayor was fake. Ji-hoon had written random names, and now he is waiting. Chang-ho will repeat those very names. The prosecutor asks, how are you so sure? Ji-hoon tells him, the mayor himself hired Chang-ho, and Chang-ho made the first call from jail to the mayor too. The meaning is clear. If Chang-ho lies, he will speak from that very fake list. Rumors about Big Mouse start spreading in the prison. Betting starts. Who will last, Big Mouse or the 3 VIPs? Jerry is handling the betting. The VIPs get him beaten up and bring him in front of Chang-ho. They challenge him. Chang-ho does not know the names. Chang-ho calmly places a bet of 300 million won. I know the 5 names. In the final scene, the mayor is standing in an art gallery when Ji-hoon comes. He says, today Chang-ho is going to tell the 5 names, and asks the mayor, will you come along? The mayor casually says, if he is the real Big Mouse, he will tell the names. If he is not, the truth will come out. Ji-hoon reveals the list is fake, and he says, I am afraid that Chang-ho will speak those very names. Panicking, the mayor calls the warden, but the warden intentionally does not pick up the phone. Just then, Chang-ho steps out of his cell. All the inmates are watching him. They stomp their feet on the ground and start shouting, big! Big! Chang-ho moves forward without stopping to face Ji-hoon. Chang-ho was going to meet Ji-hoon while the rest of the inmates were cheering. On the way, he meets the mayor, who wants to urgently tell him the list of drug dealer names is fake. But because of the warden coming in between, he is not able to tell his message. In the VIP room, Chang-ho's meeting happens with Ji-hoon and the 3 VIPs. The mayor also comes inside but can only watch. The warden says to both Chang-ho and Ji-hoon, write the names of Big Mouse's top 5 clients on a paper. The warden reveals, both of your names are the same. Everyone becomes shocked, while Chang-ho smiles slightly and asks them, was this thing so shocking for you? Ji-hoon believes Chang-ho is Big Mouse indeed, after which he tells him, return the 100 billion won of Lala capital. Chang-ho asks for proof of this fact. Prove that those 100 billion won are with me only. Ji-hoon says, fund manager Peter Hong has accused Big Mouse of taking the money. Just then, a call comes to the warden. The prosecutor wants to meet Chang-ho because Peter Hong has been caught. The scene cuts to where the prosecutor is interrogating Peter Hong. Peter says, I was trapped in a financial fraud and I was about to end my life. Just then I got a call from someone who wanted to invest. I slowly invested large amounts for him, my life came on track, and I became the manager of the NR Forum's private fund. But suddenly, all the money disappeared. Or maybe Big Mouse took it. Peter says, I met Big Mouse once, but I did not see his face. The prosecutor tells him, tell a lie and identify Chang-ho. He gets scared but agrees. In front of Ji-hoon and the mayor, Chang-ho is brought into the interrogation room. Peter is asked, is Chang-ho Big Mouse himself? Just then an alarm rings. It is time to take insulin. He takes the injection but suddenly falls down, and his death happens, exactly like how the rest of the inmates happen. While his body is being taken away, Ji-hoon thinks, does Chang-ho's wife really have Professor Seo's paper or not? Meanwhile, in Gucheon University Hospital, nurses are talking about the upcoming Sunday's volunteering program. While leaving, Miho sees the relative of the patient in 701, Kim Kyung-suk. She is watching Joo-hee on TV. Miho remembers, late Professor Seo had asked me to design a necklace pendant in which a small data card could fit, preferably in a cross shape. On TV, Joo-hee is seen wearing the exact same cross necklace. Miho goes to her, but she quickly leaves from there. Just then, Miho gets Ji-hoon's call. The two meet in a restaurant where Ji-hoon says, I want to buy Professor Seo's paper. Miho refuses and says, I will keep those papers myself. Ji-hoon tries to pressure her but fails. Later, Miho calls the mayor and says, thanks for giving the names to Chang-ho. But he does not tell the truth. At home, Miho's father and Suntae find out about Professor Seo's life. It is revealed his relation with his wife was not good, and he lived alone. But her father finds photos of a fishing trip which someone else had taken. They figure out he had an affair with some woman. In the prison, Jerry is distributing the betting winnings. It is revealed Chun-sik, the VIP's man, had placed a bet of 50 cards on Big Mouse. In the warden's office, Chae-bong gives Chang-ho suitcases filled with cash. According to the bet, he has to give him 300 million won. The warden takes his share, and Chang-ho gives him more money for extra privileges and a prison party. When Chang-ho goes into the cafeteria, the inmates cheer for him. In the VIP room, the three men are panicking. Just then, Chang-ho comes and says, "Confess your mistake in the trial, otherwise you will be killed in the prison." Later in the courtyard, Chang-ho sits, and behind him, a large sheet is put up on which there is a confessional Bible and Big Mouse's symbol. Then he is seen praying in the church. In the VIP room, Do-gun drinks wine and becomes somewhat unconscious. He has a hallucination. Chang-ho is holding my beating heart, while in reality, it is just the fabric of his t-shirt. The same thing happens with Chaebong, and he is given an electric shock in the bathroom. The mayor comes to meet Chang-ho and asks the truth. Chang-ho maintains Big Mouse's persona and says, "Decide, will you help or not?" The mayor asks about Miho. Chang-ho says, "I will handle my wife myself." It is shown the warden is listening to and watching everything. In the hospital, Miho sees the head nurse taking patients' blood samples in a suspicious manner. Following her, she reaches the hospital's Technology Innovation Center. She goes into the supply room, but Joo-hee and the security guard catch her. The guard says, "The head nurse was not even there." Joo-hee threatens her, "Leave," and she leaves. Then she reminds the guard, "Do not go inside," pointing towards a hidden door. The three VIPs meet Ji-hoon and say, "Get us out of here." Ji-hoon meets Chang-ho while leaving, who asks, "Did you meet Miho?" Chang-ho says, "Targeting family is cheating." Ji-hoon says, "There is no cheating in war." Just then, he gets his wife's call. She has received white carnations, after which Chang-ho gives him a warning, "Follow the rules." Chang-ho then goes to the chairman and tells him a plan, through which he wins his support. With the chairman's help, he catches Jae-ho, the third VIP, and hangs him right where he was earlier. He says, "Take the blame for Professor Seo's murder because you were only the driver." Finally, Jae-ho agrees. On the other hand, the mayor calls Miho and calls her to meet, where he tells her his father's story, how our dye factory was accused of dumping toxic waste. He says, "I became a lawyer so that I could help such people, but later I found out that the accusations were true." Then he tells Miho the truth about the drug dealer names and says, "Chang-ho is Big Mouse himself." Miho is shaken but says, "I trust my husband." While returning home, her father's call comes. Chang-ho paid off all the debts by giving 100 million won to the loan shark. Hearing this, she breaks down from inside. In the next scene, Miho is found drinking at home, where her father asks her, "Do you really believe the mayor's words?" But 4 people have died. Therefore, she is confused and says, "I will meet and talk to Chang-ho the next day." In the morning, in the prison, everyone is preparing for the arrival of Gucheon University Hospital's medical volunteers. Jerry tells Chang-ho, "This visit is like Christmas for the inmates." In the hospital too, Miho and the rest of the staff are getting ready. Under the supervision of Hyun Joo-hee and Ashley Kim, the warden welcomes the staff into the prison. Chang-ho is reading a book of tarot cards. Just then, a guard comes and says, "Your wife has come." Because of his new privileges, Chang-ho takes a hot bath and wears new clothes. He gets the VIPs out of their room so that he can meet Miho right there. Along with this, he lets Jae-ho meet his wife. When the inmates come into the medical room, in a surprising moment, everyone bows to Miho. Then a guard takes her to the VIP room. She looks at all the luxury of the room, but Chang-ho does not greet her warmly. She asks directly, "Are you really Big Mouse?" Chang-ho looks a bit hurt, then takes her into the courtyard so that no one can listen. The warden wanted to listen, but now cannot hear. Chang-ho says, "Whatever I will tell will seem like a lie," but asks her to promise. "Promise me that you will believe me?" Miho agrees. In a flashback, it is shown, when Chang-ho got the list from the mayor, just then someone had knocked him unconscious. Upon regaining consciousness, he finds a tarot card in his pocket, which contains the second list from the real Big Mouse. It is the Tower card, which indicates a new beginning or a hidden blessing. And in this way, Chang-ho, or rather Big Mouse, turned the whole game around. In the present, Miho asks, "How did you know which list is correct?" Chang-ho says, "On the back of the tarot card was Big Mouse's symbol, and a similar card was also found with that inmate who had attacked me earlier." Then, seeing the mayor's nervousness, I understood that the list with the tarot card was correct. He further says, "Big Mouse was giving me signals through tarot cards, like about the deaths of the rest of the inmates and Peter Hong. Then I got the judgment card, from which I understood that my job is to..." Miho says, "Tell the truth to everyone." But Chang-ho says, "As soon as I become useless to Big Mouse, my life can fall into danger." But he also says, "I am also using Big Mouse myself." In another flashback, it is seen, Chang-ho had started sending a message to Big Mouse through the church's Bible by putting up the sheet with the confessional Bible in the courtyard. He had said, If I get the right tools, I will fight the battle. In response, he got the Magician Tarot card, meaning Big Mouse has accepted his capability. Chang-ho says, I intentionally dragged Big Mouse into this game so that his identity comes forward. I want to catch the truth of both sides. Miho says, I will solve one part by finding Professor Seo's paper, after which Miho returns to her volunteering work, where Miho sees that the head nurse is taking blood samples and keeping them in different boxes, which seems a bit strange. On the other hand, Jae-ho's wife, Hye-jin, has also come as a volunteer. A guard brings her to her husband in the hospital wing. He is happy, but then tries to force her, and upon refusal, becomes aggressive. He suspects that she has an affair, and in anger, he starts hurting her until she gives an explanation. In the mess hall, Chang-ho makes a grand entry where the hospital staff is serving food. He tells personal things about every staff member, indirectly giving a warning, behave well with Miho. In front of Juhi, he just says, take care of Miho. Later, Miho is with Hye-jin when she feels pain. Miho notices her bruises and tells her, get help, but she refuses. While going back on the bus, Ashley Kim invites all the staff to her gallery for a party. Juhi asks, why? So Ashley says, I need photos to show the elder. Miho gets off in the middle and calls her father and Soon-tae and says, Chang-ho is just Chang-ho, not Big Mouse. On the other hand, Ji-hoon and the mayor are doing shooting practice. Ji-hoon misses repeatedly while the mayor hits all the shots. Just then, an elderly man sitting in a wheelchair comes and scolds Ji-hoon. When Ji-hoon asks, can the VIPs be taken out on sick leave or not, he refuses. The mayor promises help, due to which Ji-hoon gets irritated. Meanwhile, Miho is about to reach the hospital when Kyung-suk's call comes. She says, I know the location of Professor Seo's paper, but I need money in exchange. Standing on the hospital terrace, she says, the paper is in a cross necklace. Suddenly, she sees someone behind her. And the very next moment, she falls down, right in front of Miho. Miho's father comes there. Miho tells them, download the episode of the 100-Year Health Show, because that is what Kyung-suk was watching. After which she takes the car and reaches Ashley's gallery. She remembers that Juhi wears a cross necklace, and she confronts her in the bathroom. But nothing is found in the necklace, and Miho has to give an apology. While stepping out, someone's shoes are seen in a cubicle. Meanwhile, Chang-ho says to Big Mouse, get the bail of the VIPs canceled. But instead, he gets the Chariot Tarot card, meaning he will have to do it himself. Chang-ho understands, Big Mouse is testing me. He calls Jae-ho again and tells him, confess, otherwise I will kill you with fire. On the other hand, the mayor comes to meet Miho while her father and Soon-tae download the TV episode. Miho says to the mayor, I trust Chang-ho and apologizes for her behavior with Juhi. Then, watching the episode, they understand Hye-jin also wears the same cross necklace. They also find its sketch in Kyung-suk's design book. Hye-jin is in her house, quite troubled. Where it is revealed, she was the one in the bathroom and she has actually found the data card in the necklace. In a flashback, it is seen she was running away from her abusive husband. Just then, Professor Seo gives her a lift. Gradually, their affair starts, and he is the one who gifts her the necklace. There, the three VIPs prepare to leave the prison, but Jae-ho looks nervous. The warden congratulates them. Congratulations. While leaving, they meet Chang-ho. During the conversation, the truth comes out. Chairman Yang was never on Chang-ho's side. Jae-ho's bail request was never even made. Therefore, he is taken back to the cell while the other two VIPs smirk. After everyone leaves, Chang-ho starts laughing, saying, everyone has been made a fool of. The VIPs, Jung Chae-bong and Lee Do-gun, get ankle monitors installed in the warden's office, after which they leave the prison. After that, the warden leaves for the weekend, but leaves after giving a warning to the guard, keep Chang-ho away from Dr. Han. Dr. Han demands protection from Chairman Yang and his gang. Protect me. But they tie him to a chair. A man is just about to knock him unconscious when Chang-ho and his people arrive and say, hand him over to us. A fight happens between the two groups and Chang-ho brings Dr. Han to himself. In the prison hospital, Chang-ho asks Dr. Han, what is in Professor Seo's paper? But Dr. Han is very scared and gestures. People even more powerful than Ji-hoon are involved in this. From the conversation between Chairman Yang and Chang-ho, it is revealed their fight was actually staged so that Dr. Han could be provoked. Later, Chang-ho twists a tarot card and says, now it is Big Mouse's turn. Meanwhile, Dr. Han's wife Hye-jin has hidden somewhere. In the hospital, Miho runs to save a patient who is collapsing, but the staff stops her because he is a do not resuscitate patient. Later, she finds out, according to the hospital's rules, that patient will have a cremation, not a burial. After which Miho secretly goes into the morgue and takes blood samples from the body, but while coming out, Juhi catches her. The head nurse checks her, but nothing is found. Just then, the mayor comes there. Later, he and his wife have dinner, but he remains lost in thought about Miho and Chang-ho. Miho goes back to the morgue and takes the hidden samples, but while coming down, she is attacked in the elevator. Luckily, the doors open on time, and the mayor saves her. The attacker runs away. Miho gives the samples to her father's contact, who is in the National Forensic Service, saying, "Get these tested." In the prison, someone donates a new Mother Mary statue, which is installed in the church. Chang-ho keeps the Chariot tarot card in the Bible. This is a bold move to achieve victory and trap Big Mouse. He says, "By tomorrow, I will find out who Big Mouse is." Someone is shown coming into the church, but his face is not visible. During the day, Chang-ho roams around holding the Count of Monte Cristo novel. When he checks the Bible in the church, it is empty. He goes straight to the Mother Mary statue. In a flashback, it is seen Sundae had given him that novel in which a phone was hidden. At the same time, Chang-ho had told him anonymously, donate a Mother Mary statue with a hidden camera inside it. In the present, Chang-ho checks the video and sees Jerry going into the church. He calls Jerry and, taking him to a quiet place, gives him 3 chances to confess. Finally, Jerry admits, "I just went to see the Bible out of curiosity. I did not take the tarot card." Chang-ho, seeing a 30-minute gap in the video, understands Jerry is speaking the truth. Just then, Miho's call comes. "I have received the Fool tarot card with white flowers," which means Big Mouse has given a warning. Jerry calls Chang-ho fake and asks, "Who is the real Big Mouse?" But Chang-ho tells him, "Stay away if you do not want to ruin your life even more." Meanwhile, the prosecutor meets the VIPs and Gong Ji-hoon. They discuss trial strategy when Ji-hoon gets a call saying, "The elder is calling everyone to the movie theater." The rest of the members of the NR Forum are also there, including the mayor, his wife, and the elderly man in the wheelchair. In the theater, a video on the history of Gucheon is shown, how it was developed under the leadership of Chairman Kang Sung-gun. After that, the elder talks about the people who built Gucheon and are no more. He shows a prosthetic leg and scolds everyone. "You consider yourselves masters while you have inherited everything." He says, "My last wish is to find a worthy successor." Later, the mayor shows a photo in which there are 4 people, probably a family. The same photo was also in the video. Ji-hoon is singing in a karaoke bar when the prosecutor comes and says, "We have to win the elder's trust back." He convinces him, try to take the money back from Big Mouse again, and shows a mysterious black bag in his hand. In the prison, Jerry distances himself from Chang-ho. His little sister comes to meet him and says, "Someone is bearing the expenses of my studies and our grandmother's treatment." The sponsor turns out to be Ji-hoon. Jerry comes back into the cell and says, "I am being released." He gives energy drinks to everyone and gives a special bottle to Chang-ho. Jerry, while leaving the prison, convinces himself Chang-ho will not die. He will just feel a little pain, just like Ji-hoon had said. Just then, an ambulance leaves from the prison. At the same time, Miho and her father reach there. Jerry tells them Chang-ho is in the ambulance and says, "Follow them." They find out the ambulance is not going to any nearby hospital. With Miho's father's smart driving, they stop the ambulance and take Chang-ho to Miho's hospital. When Chang-ho is unconscious, someone comes and, taking his fingerprints on a paper, gives it to Ji-hoon. After regaining consciousness, Chang-ho and Miho talk. Chang-ho asks, "Can we ever go back to a normal life?" Upon which Miho tells him, "Stay strong." While going back from the hospital, Chang-ho suspects the path is wrong, and he also fights, but the guards overpower him and sedate him. The vehicle moves towards Jiseong Mental Center, and Chang-ho is seen being taken into a white corridor. The next scene starts in the church with red light, where Chang-ho tries to catch Big Mouse, but he is wearing a faceless mask. A struggle happens between the two, and Chang-ho takes off his mask, but is shocked to see his own face inside. This turns out to be a dream. Chang-ho wakes up in the asylum, completely tied up. The head nurse gives him an injection, while in the prosecutor's voiceover it is said, "Keep him away from food, water, and sleep." He and Ji-hoon talk about a drug named Peace, a kind of truth serum that will make him speak the truth by giving him pain. When Chang-ho's condition becomes very bad, Peace is injected into him. He starts hallucinating. He sees mice everywhere and starts screaming in pain. He says, "I am not Big Mouse." But those people believe he is lying. Before they can give another injection, he faints. In a flashback, it is seen, how did Miho and Chang-ho meet for the first time? Where Miho's father was scolding some students because they were fighting in school, just then, Miho also comes there. Her father goes to hit Chang-ho too, but Chang-ho takes his stand. Just then, Miho's father asks Chang-ho, "Do you live in an orphanage?" Upon which Chang-ho says, "I do not fight so that the kids in my orphanage do not face problems because of me." Miho hears this and takes Chang-ho's stand, then takes him away from there. In the next scene, it is shown, Miho gives her lunch to Chang-ho, upon which Chang-ho asks, "Are you interested in me by any chance?" Upon which Miho says, My mother has also died, therefore I stood by you. Chang-ho says to her, you did not stand by me because you liked me, but you did it because you felt bad that I live in an orphanage. After which Miho tells Chang-ho, taste the food I made. And this is how their friendship begins. After another blurry dream, Chang-ho is woken up by pouring water, and to escape the pain, he tells Ji-hoon, your money is on Gudal Mountain. In a flashback, it is seen he and Miho had gone hiking there, which implies Chang-ho is buying time. But when the VIPs dig there, they find a box which contains only one gold bar. Chang-ho himself is also shocked. How did this come there? Meanwhile, the real Big Mouse had already shifted the gold bars from the underground place to a storage facility. There in the prison, some people are coughing blood and falling down. The room leader and Chairman Yang discuss Dr. Han has come out on bail. On the other hand, the mayor and his wife go for an underwater swim, where the mayor loses the bet. Later, he asks Joo-hee, what do you want? But Joo-hee refuses by saying, it was not a fair game. You lost intentionally. Then Joo-hee also asks the mayor, if you had won, what would you have asked for? The mayor tells his wish to Joo-hee. I want a child who can take care of you after me. Just then, he gets some news from his man. After which Miho gets the mayor's call. He says, I have found Hyejin. He reaches Hyejin when she's about to throw the necklace, but nothing is found inside. Miho and the rest of the people also arrive, but the mayor has to leave because the elder has collapsed. Miho tries to talk to Hyejin, but she refuses. I will not testify against my husband. On the other hand, Joo-hee is treating the elder. The elder tells her, take an interest in my business. But she refuses and says, I want to focus on the patients. After Joo-hee leaves, the mayor stays with him. The elder falls asleep, and the mayor reaches his hand towards his throat for a moment, but stops himself. In the asylum, Chang-ho makes a deal with Ji-hoon. I want food in exchange for telling the location of the gold bars. Just as he's about to eat sushi, suddenly someone with a big mouse tattoo sets the asylum on fire. Firefighters arrive, and one of them is Jerry in disguise. He helps free Chang-ho and both escape. Jerry leaves him near a tunnel where a car is waiting for him. He says, Big Mouse has paid me to do this, but because we are being followed, I will tell the rest of the things later. Chang-ho gets into the car where he finds clothes, a phone, and money. Jerry gets surrounded by cops. His car crashes. Later, Chang-ho is seen taking him on a stretcher where he is soaked in blood. Meanwhile, Miho gives some papers to Hyejin and says, decide, do you want to run or fight? Miho Suntae and her father have contacted a social media channel named News Mental saying, we have an informant, after which they wait for Hyejin's decision. They get the news of Chang-ho escaping from the mental hospital. In the prison, Chairman Yang is impressed while the warden says, this is not my problem. The VIPs get scared of Big Mouse roaming free. The prosecutor says, the police are looking for his family. Now on the run, Chang-ho gets the address of a hotel on the phone. On the way, a policeman recognizes him but lets him go. There is a Big Mouse tattoo on his back. Reaching the hotel, Chang-ho decides, I will not be used and finished like Jerry. Hyejin, while leaving, says to Miho, I will call. Miho thinks, she will help us. Then Miho makes a plan to contact Chang-ho without the police finding out. The three protest in public. They say, Chang-ho did not escape, he was abducted. They give their phones to the police too. Pressuring the prosecutor, Chang-ho is watching all this in the news. After some time, he sees them protesting from the clock tower. They think he will call Suntae's burner phone. But Miho notices a life insurance ad on a billboard. In that ad, the same scene plays where Chang-ho had proposed to her. Miho calls the number on that ad and finally talks to Chang-ho. Chang-ho says, I was abducted, but now I am fine. Miho says, Hyejin is ready to help and gives her number. Chang-ho says, now I will take control moving forward. The VIPs are watching the teaser of News Mental when Hyejin calls Ji-hoon, saying, I have Professor Seo's paper, but in exchange, I want a divorce from Dr. Han. Dr. Han refuses. No, and an argument happens among everyone. Just then, it is revealed. Hyejin is actually with Chang-ho. Chang-ho steps out fully prepared, and in his voiceover, he says, the best lies are those which are hidden inside the truth. The VIPs reach the court for the trial where a conversation happens between Ji-hoon and the mayor finds out Ji-hoon knows about Hyejin, after which he informs Miho. In the court, Miho opens the laptop, and the host of News Mental introduces the informant. Just then, Chang-ho makes an entry. He is smartly dressed and sits as the informant, leaving thousands of people shocked. After which, in a flashback, it is shown Miho is talking to Chang-ho when he worked in a grocery store, and then he is shown taking milk bags for the children of the orphanage. The next scene returns to the court case where the hearing against the three VIPs is going on. Meanwhile, Chang-ho appears on the News Mental social media channel and starts making predictions about the case. Miho, acting as a commenter, keeps giving live updates of the court. Chang-ho correctly guesses the prosecution's evidence, which includes late Professor Seo's DNA and blood that were found on the bodies of the VIPs. But the defendants cleverly escape by showing a video in which all three are seen trying to save Professor Seo in public. As people start watching the video, Ji-hoon finds out and he tells his people, track the IP address. But they fail. During the break in the court, the mayor asks Miho what all this is happening. On the other hand, Ji-hoon, the VIPs, and the prosecutor sit in a room and understand. Chang-ho knows all this because we had told him the entire trial strategy earlier as a lawyer. Just then, Ji-hoon gets Hye-jin's call. She says, I want divorce papers in exchange for Professor Seo's paper. Ji-hoon agrees. Okay. Despite Jae-ho's argument, he meets Hye-jin in a cafe and asks her, where is Big Mouse's location? She tells him, and Ji-hoon sends the police. Then the two exchange the divorce papers and data card, but the police, reaching there, only find Chang-ho's video on the TV. In the court, just as Chang-ho had predicted, the VIPs are proven not guilty due to insufficient evidence. Just then, Chang-ho reveals, the real motive was Professor Seo's research paper. The relief of the VIPs outside the court does not last long. A truck comes in which a large screen is installed on which Chang-ho's video plays. Then it switches to the cafe's hidden camera footage where Ji-hoon is angrily shouting at Hye-jin and in anger admits, the VIPs killed Professor Seo. The back of the truck opens and Chang-ho himself comes forward from inside. In the cafe, Ji-hoon starts dragging Hye-jin away. But just then the mayor comes and warns him, reporters are coming. Ji-hoon clashes with the reporters but remains confident. All this cannot harm me. Miho reaches there and says to Hye-jin, thank you for keeping the promise. Hye-jin then leaves for the airport to start a new life in the U.S. Chang-ho faces the reporters outside the court and says, Ji-hoon and the prosecutor abducted me from the mental hospital. I will give proof in the trial that I am not Big Mouse. Before leaving, he shares an emotional moment with his family. Then the officers take him back to the prison. Before leaving, Soon-tae tells him, Jerry is alive. Chang-ho gives a small letter which Soon-tae keeps under Jerry's pillow. But someone bearing Big Mouse's symbol tattoo picks up that paper. Chang-ho reaches back to the prison. In his voiceover, he says, now my focus is only on catching Big Mouse. In the hospital, someone gives a small paper to Jerry. After reading it, he tears it up. In the prison, the room leader tells Chang-ho, a strange disease is spreading. People are coughing blood, becoming violent, and the medical staff has left in fear. Chairman Yang says, this has happened before too, and this happens only to the model inmates. Ji-hoon meets Chang-ho in the prison and tells him, invest the 100 billion won in a real estate project, like a repayment. Chang-ho laughs, refuses, and says, you should book a room in the prison. When Chang-ho hints, Ji-hoon was also involved in Professor Seo's death, Ji-hoon says, I was not the one talking on the phone. The mayor and his wife go for swimming again. Joo-hee tells him, do not get too involved in Seo's case. But he says, I am doing all this only for the elder. The three VIPs go to ask the elder for help, but make him angry. Just then, the mayor comes there and gives the original paper and original file of Professor Seo to the elder. The elder is very impressed. The VIPs, who are asked to confess, argue with the mayor and say, you were also involved in all this. In a flashback, it is revealed the person the VIPs had called on the day of the crime was the mayor. He had not only said yes to helping, but also gave the order to his man. Cause the accident so that all three get caught. Later, he also destroyed the dashcam footage. But the mayor reminds them, there is no evidence against me. Later, the elder burns Seo's paper in the fire. Joo-hee comes and the two talk about the time when the elder was against his and Joo-hee's marriage, but now he seems to accept the mayor. Then it is shown someone opens the storage area where the gold bars are kept. The same person who had earlier hidden them in the ground. The camera reveals it is the mayor, and he not only has the gold bars, but also a copy of Professor Seo's paper. In a flashback, it is seen, before Miho came, the mayor had talked to Hye-jin. He had said, if she keeps the paper, she will be killed. With the promise of a new life in New York, he had taken the real data card from her. In the prison, Chang-ho leaves a message in the Bible. I want Big Mouse to come forward by 8 p.m. tonight. Otherwise, I will stop helping him. In the hospital, Miho notices that all the patients on one floor have been discharged. She also sees the blood report of an inmate of Gucheon prison. Before she can see anything else, she is called to the director's office. Joo-hee has found out Miho got a blood analysis done. The report looks normal, but Joo-hee tells her, resign. Miho meets the mayor and tells him everything. He says, I will talk to Joo-hee. But Miho says, I have already resigned. He asks, where is Hye-jin? But Miho does not tell anything, even though we know he knows everything. Someone comes into the church and sees Chang-ho's message. Due to the shortage of medical staff, the hospital nurses come to the prison again and distribute vitamins. The room leader wants to take them very restlessly. Just then, an inmate starts coughing blood. In the Bible, Chang-ho gets the Justice Tarot card. 10 minutes are left to 8 o'clock and he waits. Miho goes to meet Jerry in the hospital, but his bed is empty. On the other hand, someone whose face is not visible comes behind Chang-ho. Chang-ho turns around. His eyes widen. The person meeting Chang-ho in the church is none other than the warden. The warden says, "I am Big Mouse." When Chang-ho shows him the tarot card, the warden says, "Talk straight." Chang-ho suspects his words. When the warden shows the Big Mouse tattoo on his hand, Chang-ho says, "The real master does not wear a leash himself. The warden is just a man of Big Mouse." While leaving the church, Chang-ho takes out a recorder from his pocket. He had recorded the entire conversation. Miho goes to meet Jerry. Initially, he is not on the bed but comes later. Miho says Chang-ho was wrong. Thinking Jerry had met Big Mouse, Jerry agrees and says, "I am ready to testify in Chang-ho's trial." In a movie theater, the mayor is watching a documentary made on Gucheon. He pauses on a family photo, and in a flashback, the same little boy is seen. Near a burning car, he is calling out to his grandfather, but people catch him and stop him. Ji-hoon comes there and says, "That boy looks like the mayor." But he says, "I had it checked. That boy is dead." The mayor and Ji-hoon challenge each other. Just then, Chang-ho's call comes. "I want you to become a witness in the interrogation tomorrow." The mayor agrees. In the prison, a death row inmate is shivering and having trouble seeing. Desperate for medicines, he gets into a fight with his cellmate. In the cafeteria, the room leader and Chairman Yang discuss, "Everyone is fighting for medicines now." At Gucheon University Hospital, the head nurse tells Jae-ho, "The medicine should be changed because side effects are visible." The other two VIPs come and ignore her words. Just then, they meet Joo-hee. She says, "They will be fired soon." But they are confident. "The elder will save us because we killed a man for him." While going to the interrogation, the warden warns Chang-ho, "Do not do anything stupid." Later, the warden is looking at nurse applications for the prison, among which Miho's name is also there. In the hospital, Joo-hee goes into her office, and Chae-bong is waiting for her there. He asks her to help us so that we do not get fired from the job, but she refuses. Outside, the rest of the VIPs ask, "Does she know that we have changed the medicine?" Chae-bong says, "No." Miho comes for the nurse position interview. The head nurse and another nurse are also there. Suddenly, a fight starts between the death row inmate and his cellmate in the courtyard. The guards try to stop him and use tasers several times. Alarms ring, and the nurses come out. Miho performs CPR and saves the inmate's life. The warden is impressed by her, after which the mayor reaches Chang-ho's interrogation. Chang-ho first demands, "Drop the drug charges." In a flashback, it is seen. The mayor was the one who had drugged him, and in the present, he promises, "I will drop the charges." Then Chang-ho shows the recording with the warden. The warden could not understand the tarot card. This proves he is not Big Mouse. Chang-ho says, "The warden has been blackmailing and extorting from the inmates. Therefore, he should be arrested on corruption charges." He says, "When we have enough evidence, then I will give the rest of the recording." The mayor agrees. Chang-ho also tells him, "Give me cover so that I can stay in the prison and find the real Big Mouse." Ji-hoon sees all this and later says to the prosecutor, "Listen to the mayor." While coming back, Chang-ho notices that birds are dying and falling from the sky. Upon reaching the prison, the warden puts him in solitary confinement. In the hospital, a doctor tells Miho, no drugs were found in the psychopath inmate's body. The accompanying guard tells her, "You have got the job." The same guard, who often appears in authority, receives the mayor's call. As soon as he leaves, Miho secretly takes the inmate's blood sample and later gives it to someone. In the prison, the room leader gives food to Chang-ho and says, "Miho is working in the prison now." The warden shows the prison to Miho, and the two talk clearly. Miho knows the warden is Big Mouse's right hand, and the warden knows Miho has information connected to Professor Seo's paper. Chang-ho meets the warden and angrily says, "Keep Miho away from the prison." After an argument, they agree to play the 21 questions game. Chang-ho asks, "Why is Big Mouse interested in Sao Jae-young's paper?" The warden says, "A special person's death happened because of that paper." The warden asks, "What is in the paper?" Chang-ho answers, "It is connected to the blood of the prison inmates." After this, he refuses to answer more questions. Miho and Chang-ho meet. Chang-ho tells her, "Leave the job." But Miho says, "I am the only one who can help you in getting the inmate's blood out." At the same time, the prosecutor comes and arrests the warden on blackmail and extortion charges. The warden calls Ji-hoon, but he does not show much concern. When the warden is being taken away, Miho and Chang-ho observe the inmates to find any suspicious reaction. Later, Chang-ho is called from the cafeteria. The acting warden wants to meet him. He goes to the VIP room where Mayor Choi is sitting. That same guard, Soo-chul, has now become the acting warden. Chang-ho says to the mayor, "Thank you." But the mayor says, "I still do not fully trust you and until the real Big Mouse comes forward." Meanwhile, in the hospital, Joo-hee packs her belongings and drinks her drink. While driving, her vision starts to wobble, exactly like what had happened with Chang-ho. The mayor tells Chang-ho, "Soo-chul will help you." Just then, they receive the news of Joo-hee's accident, and the mayor immediately leaves. Later, Chang-ho comes to drop Miho outside. Both talk about how to finish off two targets at once, Big Mouse and the mayor. In a flashback, it is seen, Miho had the dead patient's blood tested at the NFS. Chang-ho says, if the result is manipulated, it means the mayor is involved. Miho checks the results and they are indeed manipulated. She tells this fact to Chang-ho. In the present, both conclude, Big Mouse is now targeting the mayor. Chang-ho believes the mayor will also respond soon, and in that process, we can catch both. On the other hand, at Gucheon University Hospital, the mayor arrives running to see his wife, who has just had an accident. He finds out the police have taken her blood sample because witnesses said she looked intoxicated. Ji-hoon is also present there. Later, Ji-hoon and the prosecutor are sitting in a car when the prosecutor gets a call from a detective. After finishing the call, he tells Ji-hoon, "You were right." Ji-hoon immediately calls his people at Woojeong Daily and says, "Publish an exclusive report on the drugs found in Joo-hee's system." He gestures, "A big plan is going on. Just wait." In the prison, Chang-ho shows the new warden, Soo-chul, the tarot card with Big Mouse's symbol. Soo-chul immediately calls an assembly of all the inmates and starts a body search for weapons. The inmates go into a tent and take off their clothes, and the guards search them, while Chang-ho is watching everything from the warden's room, looking for the Big Mouse tattoo. 3 people are found having Big Mouse tattoos. Soo-chul wants to torture them and extract the truth, but Chang-ho stops him. But Soo-chul feels bad that Chang-ho is giving him orders. Then Chang-ho reminds him, "You got the warden's position because of me." Miho talks to Hye-jin, who had earlier gotten the blood samples tested in the US. In the results, a drug named ASR and high white blood cells are found, which is a sign of leukemia. While she is talking, someone is secretly taking her photos. At the same time, Miho is called to the death row inmate who is screaming in pain. She gives him a painkiller. Miho and Chang-ho discuss the model inmates are probably being given a different drug from the rest of the prisoners. Chang-ho says, "These people are sometimes taken outside for paid work, but I do not know where." The room leader has already spread the message. Miho wants to test the blood of the model inmates. Miho tells him, "Bring 5 to 6 people." On the other hand, it is revealed, the man who was taking Hye-jin's photos was hired by Jae-ho. In the hospital, Joo-hee reads the news of her drug scandal. The mayor says, "This is Big Mouse's attack." Joo-hee says, "This could also be because of Professor Seo's paper. I had a feeling something was wrong in the hospital, but I ignored it." Later, the mayor's man shows him the cup from which Joo-hee was drugged. The mayor understands Chang-ho has found out everything about me. He says, "Keep an eye on Hye-jin too." The former warden Yoon-gab is brought into the prison, and as soon as he arrives, he gets into a fight with Soo-chul. Soo-chul wants to torture him and the other suspects, but Chang-ho steps in between. While going back, the rest of the inmates threaten Yoon-gab. Chang-ho says, "Even Big Mouse will not be able to save him here." In the hospital, Joo-hee goes to see the underground lab. After coming back, she looks very disturbed and tells the mayor, "Let's go home." But she does not tell him anything. She wants the mayor's image to remain clean. Soo-chul finds out, "I am not on the list to become the permanent warden." He calls the mayor and asks, "Give me permission to work my way?" The mayor says, "Yes." Soo-chul calls an assembly and announces, "Chang-ho is not the real Big Mouse. Big Mouse is right here among the inmates, and everyone will have to find him. Until then, free time will be less and work will be more." After the guards leave, the inmates attack Yoon-gab, but Chang-ho saves him. When they start attacking Chang-ho too, Chairman Yang helps him and says, "For me, Chang-ho himself is like Big Mouse." Chang-ho contacts the mayor, but the mayor ignores him. Soo-chul boasts of his power, but Chang-ho says, "Now I am free." Fights increase in the prison, and Yoon-gab is beaten repeatedly. The room leader brings some model inmates to Miho, and she takes their blood. Hye-jin returns to Korea, and Miho takes her to a safe house, but Jae-ho is following them. Here, Soon-tae and Miho's father follow the bus with the model inmates, but lose it. The bus reaches a remote building, where the inmates go underground and put on protective suits, and the walls of the building start cracking. Jae-ho reaches the safe house and tells Hye-jin, "Come back!" Hye-jin tries to protect herself with a knife, but gets stabbed in the struggle. In the prison, Miho finds out from the model inmates, "We are having fever and dizziness." A badly beaten Yoongab finally comes to Chang-ho. He says Chang-ho is alive because Big Mouse wants him to find Seo's paper. Chang-ho says, I know this, and I'm only pretending to be with the mayor. Call Big Mouse to the church at 8 p.m. tonight. Otherwise, I will abandon the plan. On the other hand, Jerry gets a call in the hospital. After the call, he says, Chang-ho is interesting. Ji-hoon's wife holds an auction and says to the NR Forum people, raise money. They ignore the mayor and his wife, hoping the elder will reject Ju-hee. Just then, Ju-hee herself arrives with the elder and sends everyone out. The mayor reaches the safe house and finds Hye-jin soaked in blood. He checks her phone and reads Miho's messages, after which he immediately calls the warden and says, finish off Chang-ho and Miho today itself. Chang-ho is waiting in the church. Just then, he gets a location change message. He is called to the special VIP ward. There, in the prison, some inmates start creating a commotion. A guard secretly gives an access card to an inmate, and he starts opening all the cells. Chaos keeps increasing, but Chairman Yang tells his people, stay calm. Chang-ho reaches the special ward. The warden gives a gun to his man and gives the order, kill Miho. A guard breaks the electric panel. A blackout happens in the entire prison. Someone comes into the special ward and sits in front of Chang-ho. Chang-ho lights a lighter and sees his face. It is No Park, the room leader. Chang-ho asks, are you Big Mouse? As soon as the prison lights go off, Miho tries to contact Hye-jin. She gets a message saying, we will meet tomorrow, but she does not know that the mayor sent this message. The riot in the prison goes out of control and the prisoners take the guards hostage. In the special ward, No Park, who is Chang-ho's room leader, admits, I am Big Mouse. He proves his knowledge about tarot cards. When Chang-ho asks, why did you choose me? The room leader says, I did not choose you. I was not involved in Doha's scheme. But when you fell into their trap, someone asked Big Mouse to save you, and to save you, I made you Big Mouse yourself. Chang-ho asks, why do you need Seo Jae-young's paper? Park says, I want to catch my daughter's killers. Chang-ho says, leave me alone after the truth comes out. But the room leader refuses. He says, until all the guilty people get punished, you will remain trapped in this. Otherwise, you will die. I need a person who fights by going to their level who cannot attack from hiding. After which Chang-ho gives him another offer. There, Soo-chul and his guard are discussing the plan. Just then, another guard overhears their conversation. Kill Miho first. The room leader initially laughs at Chang-ho's offer, but then says, I am impressed. Just then, he gets a call and he tells Chang-ho, your wife is in danger. Chang-ho immediately calls Miho and says, run. But the exits are closed. Miho hides in the medical room. Chang-ho runs to save her. The guards stop him, but Chairman Yang and his people help him. The room leader and Chairman Yang also arrive and show him the other way to the medical wing. The rioting prisoners and Soo-chul's guard barge into the medical room and try to attack Miho. Miho fights them off, and prisoner 1503 helps her, whose life Miho had saved. When Soo-chul himself comes to kill her, just then Chang-ho reaches the room and stops him. Then Yoongab kills Soo-chul. At the charity auction, the prosecutor learns about Elder Chairman Kang's real power. On the other hand, Chairman Kang asks Ji-hoon, why was the news about Ju-hee's drug scandal published? Ji-hoon says, I have a big plan. And Chairman Kang says, I will keep an eye on it. Do-ha promises, I will catch Big Mouse. Ju-hee requests, make me the commissioner of the audit committee in place of Professor Ayo. Chairman Kang agrees. In the medical room, armed guards surround them from all sides. The room leader says to Chang-ho, I accept your offer. Chang-ho calls Ji-hoon and says, I have a gift for you. Ji-hoon, the mayor, and the prosecutor come to the prison. Chang-ho puts handcuffs on the room leader and takes him out. In a flashback, it is shown what offer Chang-ho had given. He had said, I want to catch the room leader myself and use him so that I can take revenge against the rest of the powerful people. In the present, Chang-ho hands over the room leader to the police, and Miho gives the blood samples of the model inmates to Ji-hoon, but she says, all this was bait to catch Big Mouse. Later, the charges against Chang-ho are dropped, and his case is declared a mistrial. Now he has a new fancy lawyer office. He and his family discuss Miho had hidden the real blood samples and gave fake ones to Ji-hoon. They also talk about Hye-jin, who is now missing. In a twist, Chang-ho announces, I will become Big Mouse's lawyer. He gets the agreement signed by the room leader and tells him, admit your crimes and apply for bail. While stepping out, Chang-ho meets the mayor, who warns him, back down. Ji-hoon goes to meet Chairman Kang. Happy with Big Mouse being caught, he's about to give him the share of Wujong Daily. Just then, Ju-hee arrives and shows the news. Chang-ho is saying in a press conference, I will bring out the truth about Professor Seo's death. The mayor's call comes saying, I am applying for the room leader's bail. Chairman Kang angrily cancels the deal and tells Ji-hoon, finish the job properly. Miho meets Jae-ho, and from his behavior suspects his hand is in Hae-jin's disappearance. Ji-hoon comes to Chang-ho's office and gives him an offer to join the NR Forum. If you return the money, you can join the NR Forum. Chang-ho says, if Chairman Kang wants me, he should call me himself. There, Miho follows the model inmates to their work site. Tremors start there, and the building begins to collapse from inside. Miho helps the inmates, among whom prisoner 1503 is also included. The mayor and Chairman Kang talk about the collapse. The chairman says, a friend of mine gave a warning about the danger of the NF9 project, but I ignored it. Yet he says, I have no regrets. The mayor tells him, allow the room leader's bail. I will bring justice. The room leader comes out on a 3 billion won bail. Chang-ho takes him to an old restaurant where there is a big mouse symbol. He finds out the room leader was a chef earlier. He asks, who told you to save me? The room leader says, come tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. I will tell you then. After which Chang-ho walks back towards the car. Just then, a massive explosion happens in the restaurant. The room leader gets blasted along with the restaurant. Chairman Kang is watching the news in his office, in which the news of the blast and Big Mouse's death is running. The mayor comes there and tells him Chang-ho survived, but Kang tells him, do not dirty your hands anymore, because your political future is going to move forward now. While returning, the mayor's right hand asks him, what will you do next? He hints, Chang-ho cannot be left alive. The two reach a bar where his man looks for a person named Waterfowl. He goes into a room where a man is lying down and tells him, finish the job. Chang-ho is sitting near the room leader's corpse and remembers he had said, you can lose, but do not accept defeat. When he reaches the restaurant, Waterfowl attacks him. At that exact moment, Jerry comes and saves him. He says, my job is to protect Chang-ho and Miho. Jerry had also sent people to keep Miho and her father safe. They are taken to a fancy hotel. Chang-ho asks Jerry, who told Big Mouse to save me? Jerry says, one of the big three. Then he takes Chang-ho to a church where Big Mouse's funeral is going on. The core members of the organization are sitting there, among whom Yoon-gab is also included. Suddenly, a video plays in which the room leader says, if I die, my successor will be Chang-ho. Yoon-gab and Chang-ho argue over this. Just then, someone says, I shot this video. And the one who said this is Soon-tae. He asks Chang-ho, will you accept the leader's position? The mayor gets the news. Your hired assassin was found dead in No Park's restaurant, and it looks like a suicide. Alone in the church, Soon-tae and Chang-ho talk. Chang-ho feels betrayed, but Soon-tae says, I did all this to save you. Chang-ho says, making me Big Mouse was also a trap. If I refused, I would have been killed. But Soon-tae tells him, think about it. In the hotel, Chang-ho asks Miho and her father, should we continue Big Mouse's work? Her father refuses, but Miho says, we should do this for the victims. Chang-ho agrees. The next morning, Chang-ho says to Soon-tae, I will fulfill justice and then leave. Soon-tae tells him about the room leader's daughter, No Soo-jin. She was a reporter investigating NK chemicals who went missing. 3 years later, her body was found, and in her notebook, Seo Jae-young and paper were written. Because of this, Seo was interrogated and killed. The Big Mouse organization had hired Peter Hong to find the girl, but he ran away with the money. 100 billion won have not been found to date. Soon-tae also reveals, we had planted a bug on Ji-hoon's phone. From that very bug, the gold bar plan was made. Chang-ho says, start the full investigation of Chairman Kang and the NR Forum. Jerry brings information about the NR Forum. Miho notices that cancer cases have increased a lot in the city, and this could be connected to NK chemicals. She remembers the underground pipes where prisoners were sent to work. Her father says, those are fish farm pipes and are probably unrelated. In the hospital, Joo-hee looks at toxic waste reports. At dinner, Joo-hee speaks to Chairman Kang against the NF9 project. It is dangerous. An argument happens between the two and Chairman Kang leaves. Just then, the mayor tells her the truth about Seo Jae-young's murder. I did everything on Chairman Kang's orders. The next day, Joo-hee gives the order to destroy the secret lab. This news reaches Miho too. When Chairman Kang asks, Joo-hee says, this was dangerous, and I will build a new lab. In exchange, she demands, I want shares in Ji-hoon's company, and Chairman Kang agrees. After swimming, assassins attack the mayor, but he fights and survives, though he gets injured. Chairman Yang comes out of the prison, and Chang-ho gives him the restaurant, just as he had promised. Then he finds out Yoon-gab attacked the mayor. Soon-tae reminds him, it is necessary for you to be accepted as a leader. Soon-tae and Jerry catch Yoon-gab and are almost about to kill him, but Chang-ho calls and stops them. Yoon-gab is brought in front of Chang-ho. Chang-ho scolds him and says, my revenge plan is slow and planned. Miho, while researching on NK chemicals and NF9, reads about Cho Hai-soo, whose family was full of tragic history. She goes to meet him at the nursing home. The old man takes the name of his grandson, Do-ha, who drowned in the river. When Miho finds out his guardian is the mayor, she understands everything. Here the mayor announces to the press, "I will run for the National Assembly." Ji-hoon is troubled by his decreasing influence. Just then, Chang-ho calls him to the press conference. In the conference, Chang-ho openly accuses the mayor and announces, "I will fight the mayoral election myself." Later, he makes a deal with Ji-hoon. "Help me become the mayor. In return, I will make you as powerful as Chairman Kang." Ji-hoon and Chang-ho go to meet Chairman Kang. Kang is writing on a paper, "Ride the wing and cut through the water." Reaching there, Chang-ho introduces himself. The next scene starts from Chairman Kang's office where the mayor, Ji-hoon, and Chang-ho are all present. Chang-ho gives his introduction to Chairman Kang and makes up a story. "The new Big Mouse has kept my family hostage and is blackmailing me so that I can reach Chairman Kang. This will result in Big Mouse getting a chance to kill Chairman Kang." He says Big Mouse knows about the secret lab and NK chemicals. He also gives them a list of the executives of Big Mouse's organization. Chang-ho tells the chairman, "Make me the mayor so that I can eliminate all these criminals from the roots." As a double agent, Chang-ho will then find the new Big Mouse's identity. Chairman Kang is not sure, should I accept him or not? But then he invites him and his wife, "Come to my 85th birthday party." While leaving, Chang-ho says to Ji-hoon, "Big Mouse did not steal your money. In fact, it is somewhere very close to you." Miho meets the death row inmate in the prison. He asks her, "Are you feeling fine? Are you having nosebleeds or bleeding from gums?" Miho asks him, what kind of work do you people do?" But he refuses to tell her because he wants Miho to remain safe. He tells her, "Find out about my mother and see if she got her bone marrow transplant." Miho and her father contact his brother and sister, but those people want nothing to do with him. The sister says, "Mother has already died." When Chang-ho comes to Chairman Yang's new restaurant, the mayor's secretary, who is following him, takes his photos when Yoon-gab and some people show him respect. Later, the mayor meets Yoon-gab and says to him, "Kill Chang-ho," in return promising, "I will give you political support for life." He shows him the list of Big Mouse's members that Chang-ho had given, making it look like Chang-ho has betrayed Big Mouse. Miho and her father go to the nursing home and tell the old man, "Identify the kids in the photo." He says, "My grandson the mayor is dead. The other boy was Sung-hyun." Then they find out this boy is actually the mayor who changed his identity for revenge. In Chairman Kang's office, his secretary says, "Your son has sent a birthday gift." Kang tells him, "Throw it away." In a flashback, a woman's dead body and strange paintings are shown. He tells his secretary, "My son, who is a murderer, should not be allowed to enter Korea even after my death." Chang-ho tells Yoon-gab, "Get the old man out of the nursing home." Jerry suspects him and follows him but gets caught, and he is put in the trunk of the car. While getting ready for the party, Chang-ho tells Miho, "You go first." At the party, Miho arrives and Ji-hoon welcomes her. When Chairman Kang arrives, Miho meets him and she makes a good impression on him. The mayor gets a call and he goes to a separate room where his secretary sets up a video call with Yoon-gab. On the video call, Yoon-gab shoots Chang-ho in the chest while the mayor is drinking wine. Jerry, who manages to escape, sees all this. When the party is about to end, Miho gets Jerry's call saying, "Chang-ho died." She fights with the mayor in shock and then collapses. The mayor goes to the place where Yoon-gab had shot Chang-ho. He wants to see the body, but Yoon-gab says the body has already been burned. Then Yoon-gab says, "I know that the mayor is actually Cho Sung-hyun. All this is being recorded on a camera." And the video reaches Chairman Kang and Chang-ho, who is absolutely safe and sound. After watching the video, Chairman Kang says, "I will give Chang-ho everything that he wants." Chang-ho goes to the hospital where Miho is admitted. He says, "I am sorry," to her and says, "I planned all this together with Yoon-gab." Later, Chairman Kang is in a wheelchair outside his house, and his secretary is pushing him. He talks about Hai-soo and says, "His death is one of my biggest regrets." Just then, someone else comes and pushes the wheelchair, and without the chairman knowing, it is the mayor. He says, "It is too late to ask for forgiveness now." Just then, the chairman starts having chest pain. There is not just saline water in his IV. In a few seconds, the chairman dies. The mayor and his secretary take the chairman inside, and the mayor gives him payment. The Big Mouse team is eating food in Chairman Yang's restaurant when they get the news of Chairman Kang's death. At the funeral, Ji-hoon gets angry when he sees the mayor is the chief mourner. Chang-ho comes there, and the mayor is shocked. Chang-ho says, "I know that the mayor is behind the chairman's death, and I will show his truth to everyone." In the next scene, Miho sees blood on her toothbrush and then gets a nosebleed. Meanwhile, at Chairman Kang's funeral, when Chang-ho threatens the mayor and his position, Ju-hee hears, Chang Ho is calling the mayor by his real name, Cho Sung-hyun. The prosecutor arranges a meeting with Chairman Kang's attorney for Ji-hoon. After getting his help, the attorney shows him the chairman's will. He has divided everything among all the people. Ji-hoon is disappointed, but the attorney is not ready to make any changes to the will. Ji-hoon ignores Chang Ho's call, but in the parking lot, Chang Ho and his people surround him. Ji-hoon refuses to continue working with Chang Ho. Chang Ho says, "Very soon Ji-hoon himself will come to me for help." At the venue for the will reading, Chang Ho and his people disguise themselves as repairmen and install a camera inside. They see a new attorney comes with the old one, and a new will comes forward, which the chairman had made a week ago. In it, most of the assets are given to the mayor and Ju-hee. Miho gets a call from the hospital. "Your blood test reports are not fine, and you need to get more tests done." She lies about this to her father. "My reports are fine." Just as Chang Ho had said, Ji-hoon comes to him asking for help. Chang Ho tells him the mayor's real identity. In return, he asks for support from Ji-hoon to become the mayor. At the mayor's house, the mayor says to Ju-hee, "I want to fight for mayor again, instead of the National Assembly because I feel that the chairman would also want this." He asks Ju-hee, "How much do you trust me?" Later, he makes this announcement public. He and Chang Ho start their campaigns. Miho receives her test results in the hospital. She has stage 4 lymphoma, and she needs chemotherapy as soon as possible. After celebrating Chang Ho's rising poll numbers, a drunk Miho and Chang Ho take a walk on the beach. She tells him, "I know that you are Big Mouse, and my father knows too." She says, "I want Chang Ho to become a good Big Mouse who brings powerful people down and stops those who take advantage of others." They both talk about their happiest moments and agree that it was the time when they opened Chang Ho's law office. They remember the days when Miho used to bring food for him at work. Ji-hoon calls a meeting of the NR forum, but finds out everyone has gone to meet the mayor. He reaches there and creates a scene, but everyone has already decided to support the mayor, even after knowing his real identity. A flashback shows that the mayor told Ju-hee about his identity and assured her, "My intentions are good." Ji-hoon comes to Chang Ho's office while he is getting ready for the TV debate. He gives him a flash drive containing details of the special treatment the mayor gave to the NR forum while being mayor. Chang Ho asks about the chairman's son. Ji-hoon says he is in the U.S. Chang Ho says, "We can use him to file an inheritance lawsuit against Chairman Kang's will." Back in his office, Ji-hoon tells the prosecutor, "Find that son." He also says, "That son is a serial killer, and someone else was sent to jail in his place." Miho gets a call. The death row inmate, Tak Kwang-hyun, is in the last moments of his life. She goes to meet him and lies to him. "Your mother is alive and fine." After his death, his sister tells Miho he was innocent. He had taken the blame for a rich psychopath who was the real serial killer. Miho questions Ju-hee about the truth. Ju-hee says, "Bringing the truth forward does not change anything." But Miho says, "I will prove it wrong." Chang Ho is working all night. Just then, Miho brings packed dinner for him, just like she used to bring before. She tells him, "Meet me more often," and Chang Ho promises, "After dealing with the mayor, I will always stay with you." Miho keeps watching him work. Jung Chae-bong gives the mayor information about the cryptocurrency fraud case in which Chang Ho was involved earlier. Later, Do-ha and Do-gun meet the attorney of that case, who agrees to help them. In the TV studio, the representatives of the candidates are given the format of the show, which also includes a section of impromptu questions from citizens. Soon-tae says, "This section was not there before." Later, it is revealed. This has been added on Do-ha's instructions. The news comes. The culprit of the cryptocurrency case had given Chang Ho 5 billion won to lose the case. Chang Ho and the rest talk about the impact of this on his reputation. Chang Ho says, "I will face this directly in the TV debate." At night, Miho goes to the bathroom and remembers the pipes that were in the work zone where the prisoners were sent. After Chang Ho leaves for the TV debate, Miho talks to Jerry. Jerry says, "I investigated the fish farm and found unusual security there." He says, the fish farm's owner was previously NK Chemicals' head of security. Miho and Jerry gather Chairman Yang and his people. Miho says, "What we are going to do will decide the election." The next scene starts with a live TV debate, where the top 3 mayoral candidates give their introduction and opening statements. Chang Ho asks the mayor about the preferential treatment given to the NR forum. Just as he is about to show the proof, the moderator stops him. Do-ha questions Chang Ho. "Will you step down if your involvement in the cryptocurrency fraud is proven to be true?" Chang Ho says, "I will step down." Chang Ho challenges the mayor about the harmful effects of NK Chemical and NF9, as well as mentioning Haisu's death. Hearing the mention of his grandfather, the mayor is affected, but the time runs out, so he does not have to answer. The mayor's side sends the cryptocurrency fraud person to ask a question posing as a citizen. He openly accuses Chang-ho, "You took 5 billion won from me to lose the case intentionally." The mayor tells Chang-ho, "Step down as per your promise," but Chang-ho says, "The real truth will come forward and the people will decide." Miho, Jerry go with Chairman Yang and his people to investigate the fish farm. They break the gate, barge inside, and fight the guards. Miho confronts the fish farm owner and makes him confess. The chemical plant's wastewater comes into the farm. Chae-bong and Do-gun realize what is happening in the fish farm. Miho records a video of the owner in which he confesses everything. He says, "Radioactive wastewater is created from the refinement of NF9, and the fish farm is just a facade to dispose of it." As soon as Chae-bong and Do-gun arrive with their people, Jerry and Miho escape with the video. She calls Suntae, and he tells her, "You can come in the TV debate as a citizen representative." Suntae uses his contacts to get both of them to the studio. A senior staff member of the studio is part of the Big Mouse organization, and he lets Miho go inside as a citizen representative. During her turn, she says, "I am a victim of NK Chemicals radiation leakage, and I am going to die soon." Chang-ho and his father watch in shock, and she plays that fish farm video. The mayor's only response is, "This matter will be investigated." After the debate, Chang-ho meets Miho in his old office, and he has no words to express his pain. They hug each other and share a moment where Miho says, "In whatever time we have, I want us to be happy." Later, people start protesting against the mayor and Joo-hee. The prosecutor investigates it, but the mayor is confident that he will be reelected. In the police station, Chang-ho meets Joo-hee and tells her that Chairman Kang's body will be exhumed upon his son's request. Joo-hee does not believe the mayor has anything to do with his death. But while going home, she mentions this to the secretary. When she says, "I want to tell this message to my husband," the secretary asks, "Did you know from before?" Which accidentally reveals the mayor was the one who killed Chairman Kang. The court postpones the mayor's trial until after the election. 2 days later, the mayor wins the election by a few thousand votes. Chang-ho and his people are drinking after their defeat when Miho receives a package from Joo-hee. She has sent them the mayor's burner phone to be used as evidence in the upcoming trial. When Chang-ho calls her, she agrees, "I will testify." After this, Chang-ho picks up a drunk Miho and carries her to their bed, where she says, "I want to hold your hand in my last moments." Joo-hee does not appear at the trial. Chairman Kang's secretary arrives and admits, "The phone is mine." He proves, "I called the mayor from that phone." In a flashback, it is shown, the mayor had seen Joo-hee taking his phone through a hidden camera. After this, he had asked Chairman Kang's secretary to handle it. In the present, Joo-hee is tied up in the same mental hospital where Chang-ho was kept earlier. In court, the mayor is declared not guilty. After which, Miho confronts the mayor and says he will get punished for everything. After he leaves, she faints. Chang-ho takes Miho to the hospital. When she wakes up, they talk. Miho says, "I am tired and I want to sleep." Chang-ho tells her, "Rest." They both say, "I love you," and Miho's eyes close and she passes away. The mayor finishes his swimming session at his regular place. Just then, Chang-ho comes there and says, "I have bought this building." He says, "I am Big Mouse and I will continue the fight against the mayor." When the mayor shows no regret for the cancer victims of NK Chemical, Chang-ho says, "I made the right decision." As the mayor coughs blood, Chang-ho says the same wastewater was mixed into the swimming pool too. He wants the mayor to feel the same pain that the victims suffered. In a black and white scene, Chang-ho steps out of the building, where people standing in 2 rows bow to him. A reporter's voiceover says, "Chang-ho is now with all the victims of NF9 radiation. He has obtained Seo Jae-young's paper and also found the mayor's gold stash in the safe." Joo-hee testifies, "This paper shows the connection between NF9 and the cancer patients of Gucheon over the last 30 years. The 3 VIPs are sent back to prison for a Seo Jae-young's murder. Ji-hoon becomes the president of Woojung Group. Anonymous donations reach many orphanages, nursing homes, and other places whose boxes bear the Big Mouse symbol." The end of Big Mouth happens with Chang-ho driving. He has a bouquet of white flowers with him. He looks at Miho's photo and remembers her words, "You have to become a good big mouse." The light above the photo flickers when he goes into a tunnel. The car exits the tunnel and moves towards a city. The end.